I'm here to present on behalf of my friend Dr. Shamsia, and it's a pleasure because this work we have done together, but the background, he was the expert in this. I'll try my best. And the plant we are using, it's called the miracle tree. It's very well known in Eastern Asia, and it's been used to, as I'm going to say later on, to treat so many diseases, and it's been added to food. So let's start to see what the research was about. It was about using plants to reduce blood cholesterol. Dietitian always recommend that we get away from cholesterol-rich food, saturated fat-rich food, because of their problems. Their problems cause premature death through the cardiovascular diseases because of the accumulation of cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, in the blood veins. So right now, if we are eating dairy fat, does it affect the same way? There is a debate here. Some researchers, they say it affects in similar way to the synthetic fat, and some they say it does not affect the cholesterol level in the blood. So we got some, I'm sure all of you know about cholesterol. Cholesterol is two categories, either the high density lipoprotein or the low density lipoprotein. The low density lipoprotein is a devil, is a bad cholesterol that we worry about. When you eat fat-rich food, they get digested in the digestive system, and some of the cholesterol come from the digestive system and other from the liver, and all of them accumulate in the blood vein. Once they accumulate in the blood veins, the LDL, low density lipoproteins, they stuck on the walls of the veins, and they cause cardiovascular diseases and strokes. People used some plant extracts like garlic. Garlic is amazing here because it has so many sterols that interact with the cholesterol and prevent its absorption in small intestine. Because sterols, they exactly, if you see the cholesterol molecule, sterols have the same molecular weight and molecular formula except some branches. Once sterols have been saturated, all this double bond being single bonded, they called stanols. Stanols as well, they do the same thing similar to cholesterol. They reduce the absorption of cholesterol in blood vessels. So plant has so many derivatives, so many good substances that can interact with the bad cholesterol. Again, this is the cholesterol, and this is the plant sterols. Once saturated, they call the stanols, and the sterols and the stanols, once they get into the blood, into the system, digestive system, they prevent the absorption of cholesterol in the blood. And themselves, they are not absorbable. They go with the waste, so they take the cholesterol out of the system. Here is a picture I got from the internet about the vine when there is no sterols we're taking and the sterols we're taking. Plant sterols, the green dots, they surround the cholesterol dots and they take it out. So what go to the blood vein? Very, very low amounts of the LDL cholesterol. While here, without plant sterols, you can see most of the cholesterol comes to the blood veins and cause the problems. What we chose was the plant that called horseradish or the drumstick. It's called Moringa olivera. Moringa olivera is a tree that it's a very, very tall tree that you can use its leaves, seeds, trunk. Every part of the plant can be used. And this picture that has the flower, leaves, pods, seeds, oil, roots, every part, they have the anti-asthmatic, anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, all the anti-diabetes, all the anti-bad things, you can find it here. And you can see it has 4 times calcium more than milk. Magnesium, 60 times more than eggs. So it's very rich in good stuff that can be used. So what we did, one last thing, it's planted in this green area. And it happens that malnutrition is presented here. Malnutrition, all these areas, they have malnutrition. So if they included this plant in their food, it would overcome these problems. So we thought by mixing dairy fat, moringa, with the rats' food. So we have 4 groups of rats. The rats were housed, accommodated individually in cages. They were housed with the food for 6 weeks. The food was either moringa with the feed and the bovine fat, or food with the bovine fat, or the food itself. Or these different combinations were fed to rats. Rats have access freely to water. This is only what they have access to is the amount of food that we weigh every day before they eat and after they eat. And then we slaughter the rats to take blood and internal organs for analysis. Weight of rats were monitored through weekly. This weight was at the 6 week period. So after the whole experiment, all the rats were weighed before being slaughtered. So you can see the fat, when we mix fat with the food, they come overweight. And this was significant, and the significant level is 0.02. So, and moringa with fat with food, and food itself, you can see it's no significant difference. So it affected the total weight of rats. Moreover, it affected the total weight of heart. I don't know if it's relevant or not, but we found this. It's high significant. You can see here, the heart weight increased in the group where they fed fat, but moringa with fat with food is not affected. Kidney as well. Kidney was increased. The weight of kidney was increased significantly. Liver, there were no difference. You can see the distribution of weights here, no difference, and even the significant levels, there were no significant differences. We come to the cholesterol concentration. Cholesterol concentration in the high-fat food was very high significantly compared to all the other groups. So the dairy fat increased the cholesterol. But when we added moringa to the food, it's normal. The same amount of fat here was in here, but the difference was adding some moringa to the food. There were no, so it's similar. Creatinine. Creatinine also, the amount of creatinine in the fat-rich food was significantly higher. And here, creatinine was less in the groups that fed fat and moringa, but it's not different from the 3 of them, but it's different from the control. Triglycerides, no difference between fat-fed and control, but there was significant difference between the moringa and fat itself. Bilirubins as well, between these 2 groups where moringa was different, there were completely significant differences. So, when we feed rats with moringa with fat, and fat itself, there were different readings that we got. But the cholesterol level, bilirubins, creatinine, and triglycerides in the fat-rich food was higher than control and the moringa and fat group. The moringa affected the weights, total weight, heart weight, kidney weight. but it does not affect the liver weight. The moringa had no effect. If moringa and control, moringa fed rats and controls, there were no difference in weights or all of these biochemical parameters. So it's promising, it has something, and when we searched for what's there, we sent some samples for LCMS analysis to know exactly what was the secondary metabolites in moringa. Fortunately, we have the results this week, and we will analyze them. But from literature, moringa is rich in so many sterol compounds. That's why. So it interacts with the cholesterol, and it inhibits its absorption in blood vein. And thank you.